This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and what I have for you today is the Apecs Model XR Euro Profile Cylinder. This was sent to me by YouTube user Urban Hawk a while ago, and I thought now would be a great time to feature it because I just showed a very similar lock, the Magnum Superior, a couple days ago. And these locks are very, very close. If we look at the keys next to each other, you can see that this Apex appears to be a light version of the Magnum Superior. The Magnum Superior has 7 pins and 4 sliders. In this Apex lock, we have 5 pins and 3 sliders. Like the Magnum, the pins are arranged in a V format with some pins approaching from one angle and the other half approaching from this angle. Then in the bottom of the keyway, we have 3 sliders, which in turn control a spring-loaded sidebar. Like the Magnum, this is a relatively easy lock to open up despite all the complexity. The main problem is that you can rake all of the dimple pins relatively easily, and as for the sliders, they don't have any false gates, which means if you have a reliable way to manipulate them, you can open those sliders up very, very quickly. So we're going to try to open this guy up right now. I'm going to put some tension in there, get a little sawtooth rake, and see if we can get those dimple pins set pretty quickly. There we go, that's done. Then go with this dimple pick and pick our sliders. There's number 1, there's number 2, and we just open the lock up. I guess we don't have to set number 3. So much like this Magnum Superior lock, this is very, very easy to open, despite being what appears to be a very complex lock. Okay, let's take this guy apart and see what's inside. We can take it off of the rest of the lock by taking this screw out. Okay, I think I've got that. This actually has a more complex cam mechanism than the Magnum Superior. Let's just put that to the side and get our pinning tray. Okay, to open this up, it looks like we need a clip remover. Now let's get the key and a follower, and this should come apart easily. As I draw this out, I'm being very careful such that I don't drop the sidebar. I'm going to put that right down into the pinning tray and drop the sidebar springs as well. I'm going to keep the pin in because keep the key in because that will retain our sliders until I'm ready to remove them. Okay, next let's drop these key pins out. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. A couple of them went into the wrong slots, so let me arrange them. Okay, now let's get these sliders out. Okay, there's the first slider. It's not coming out easily. Let's pull him out. Second slider. And there's the third one. It looks like one of those slider springs, there we go, we got them all out. One of the slider springs was being a little bit shy. Okay, let's get the driver pins out now. We have a serrated pin in slot 1, standard in 2, standard pin in 3, standard pin in 4, and an anti-bump pin in slot 5. Okay, very, very similar innards to this Magnum Superior. Frankly, I would not be surprised if these locks weren't made in the same factory. I believe the Apex is made in China, mainly for the Russian market. So if that is the case, this Magnum Superior lock, which says Switzerland all over it, was made in China as well. Interestingly enough, these locks do use the same key. Here's the Magnum, and here is the Apex, exact same keyway. Okay, let me show you what we got here. For our key pins, you can see they are all standard. They do have a step to them. The reason for that step is so that the key pins rest on the countermilling that's in each of the 5 key pin slots. And the reason they do that is so that the key pins don't drop too far into the keyway. Then looking at the driver pins, you can see we have 1 serrated pin in slot 1, 3 standard pins in slots 2 through 4, and an anti-bump pin in slot 5. Looking at those sliders, you can see they do not have any false gates, and that's what makes them so darn easy to open. Then in slot 7, we have our sidebar and the little sidebar springs. Looking at this core, you can see our 5 pin slots, and 3 approach the core from one angle, 2 from another. Then we have a large piece of drill protection that wraps all the way around the key. Looks pretty effective. And then in the bottom, we have our slot for the sidebar. Let's actually take a look at the lock body, because we do have another large piece of drill protection right up there in the front of the lock body. And then behind that, you can see the staggered 5 holes for the driver pins. Okay, that's all I have for you on this Apex Model XR Euro Profile Cylinder. Urban Hawk, thank you very much for sending it my way. To everyone else, if you do have any questions or comments about it, please put them below. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please subscribe. And as always, have a nice day. Thank you.